welcome to Bab Walk. Hello, Chomwan, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
So today we are at Museum Siam and we'll be looking at some of the outstanding works of the artists in Bangkok Art Biennale. Please come with us. So we are in the building built by the Italian architect during the reign of King Chulalongkorn. And this was to be built for the Ministry of Commerce. So the actual interior is kept as it was. Some of the parts are renovated, and it's very lucky for us to have some of the contemporary artists to be installing the works in here. You've been here before?
Yes, I have. A few times when it was a museum and before when it was the Ministry of Commerce because my dad worked here.
Oh, okay. So you were here when you were a kid? Yeah. So this is a work by Kaveh Samnang, the Cambodian artist. You can see that he uses traditional choreography, Rabam Boran in the olden times, the ways of dance and choreography is very much the Cambodian signature. And Kaveh has adapted in such a way that he uses contemporary mixture. So you can see that the animals that are masked, the masks also symbolize various kinds of animals and the rituals related to fertility and seasonal worship. So at the back you can see that the symbols of the animals are related to nagas and serpents and also related to the power and the hegemony of China and Cambodia, which is constantly in confrontation but at the same time living in unison. So it's very much related to the worship and the natural gestures and very, very powerful indeed. And it fits very well in the context of the museum. See the animals.
Also, kind of looking at our animistic.
Yeah, very much animism. And the way they're traditionally woven.
And these are the masks that the performers were wearing too.
We come to the next room. This is a work by the Italian performance artist Marinella Senatore. Originally she was going to come to Bangkok to do performance with school children and a lot of the Thai people involved because she likes to have the interaction between the people. So because she could not come, she presented all these videos that related to her many performances and in context of people being interviewed and people participating. So she likes community art and interaction between all kinds of people.
Yeah, I can see that. And then being in this building, is there a connection? The building having been designed by an Italian architect?
Well, by coincidence. So it fits well. It fits well to have her works in here, and the interior is fantastic, and the acoustics as well.
Yeah, it sounds very grand.
Yeah. Now we're moving on to the other part of the building where there'll be two artists, one Thai artist and one Indonesian artist who are making installations. So now we're in the forest.
Wow.
This is a work by Ruang Sak, and he's a Thai artist. Ruang Sak has done a lot of research related to science, plants, environment. He's actually traveled to Fukushima, where during the atomic crisis, he collected various plants, various deformed plants, and did research on the environment. And this project, he's doing all kinds of research related to survival.
Right.
And he uses the 98 species of plants as a message whereby to survive, these plants that represent various places, 70 countries in all, and he's showing how they have to adapt according to the environment in order to survive. And the project itself is like here, this place has become a laboratory.
Right. I have a question. You say there's 98 species of
Yeah.
plants in here. Are the kind of moss things also?
Yeah, all kinds, like ranging from a very big trunks of trees to very small bacteria-like moss.
And when you first installed, were the leaves still green? Or
Yeah,
did they come like this?
They were kind of changing
I
leaves.
see.
And he's comparing them with the images of the Saiga deer in Russia, where a few years ago a lot of these deer suddenly died in thousands, and they felt that this interbreeding is like signaling the conditions of the environment, whereby suddenly we hear that animals die in herds and even plants. So it's like this laboratory is like signaling the dangers that we are facing in terms of environmental crisis.
I have another question then. So these 98 species of plants, are they, say, more resilient than the plants that we see outside?
Well, we will see, because the way he's looking after them and the way the plants outside have adapted
Right.
according to the conditions of the environment. Here is like he's using various plants from various continents.
I see.
So in the way they are conditioned here in the air-conditioned room, he has to come in constantly to see how they change and how they adapt.
So he's become a bit like a botanist.
Yeah. A botanist, a scientist, like he would look through the telescope, and also using this symbol of the embryo with images of the animals, thereby comparing life, through the microscope, as well as life with the animal kingdom.
Oh, I see. Wait, and what am I looking at in the...
I think you're looking at the smallest of the 98 species.
It's brown now. It feels like whatever cells it is that I'm examining right here, it feels like it's dried up.
Dried up.
Oh, wow. So this is one of the 98.
Yeah.
So you
See,
mentioned that these are embryos,
yeah.
like representative.
Symbol
I
of
see.
embryos of life, the beginning of birth, and also the symbol of the earth as well. And all kinds of animals, and they are in the shell-like, shell-like.
Where speaking to having spoken to the artist, where do we fit in as humans in this?
Well, I think he's making us conscious of how human actually not fit in. Humans are destroyers, through human conditions and human aggression.
Right.
Nature, animals are very much suffering from the consequences.
There's mice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so everyone seems to be in here except for us.
Yeah. And they seem to be like frozen, like fossils. So from the forest, we come through another laboratory. And this is a work by Indonesian artist, Vencer Christ. And he's very much involved in the research related to Mars. This work is called Mars, It's Not a Simulation. Vencer Christ has founded this society where people are doing research and collecting data related to life on Mars. And he actually worked with NASA. So in this way, art becomes part of the scientific research programs, and what is installed here is like a machine's apparatus whereby we have to attach the antennas to collect the waves, that the possibility of Martians or Mars people trying to communicate with us.
So these are real waves
Yeah,
that we're
yeah,
hearing,
real waves.
and the vibrations.
Yeah. Whether what kind of waves you don't know.
Gosh.
So this both rooms are like a comparison, like the artist, the quest for research for in terms of survival. One is about survival on Earth, and the other one is like quest into the other planet. And even though it's proven that there's no life on Mars, people, today still do a lot of research whereby, they want to fly there, they want to get there, and it's like very almost romantic but impossible, and yet scientists are still longing and willing to spend a lot of time and money on it.
Did the two artists speak to each other at all?
Not so much, because Wenzel was going to come, but he could not because of
Right.
COVID.
Because I wonder whether those plants, if we ever did make it to a colony in
Yes,
Mars,
yes.
whether the plants.
Yes, it could be part of the moss that
Right.
send it to Mars.
It's really cool.
So in fact, we have a dialogue with each other.
Yeah, I feel like I'm perhaps in a simulation.
Yeah, simulacra. So we've done our BAP walk at Museum Siam, and I hope you enjoy it.
Very much.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy it too. So see you there.